My long-distance husband, Cameron, claimed he had to work through the holidays, so I decided to fly out and surprise him. The only seats left were business class. I stared at the 5-figure price tag, swallowed hard, and wiped out a year's savings. Naturally, when I finally settled in, I couldn't even figure out how to pull out the tray table. The impeccably dressed woman next to me sneered. "First time in business, honey?" I managed an awkward smile. "I'm sorry. You must be an executive. You look incredibly successful." She scoffed, running a hand over her custom-tailored jacket. "Me no. My sugar daddy is the CEO. If a plane doesn't have business class, he charters a private jet for me." I blinked. "A sugar daddy? That must be a rare arrangement." "Not really. In his junior employee. I make mistakes all the time, cost him a fortune. Actually, a TS always yelling at me and making me cry. Then I cry, and then, you know, how ironic," I murmured. "My husband also has a female co-worker who's always messing up." "You're married?" She looked me up and down, a look of casual disdain. "He says he's been over her for years, that she's got zero novelty. Nothing way but split my hair, you know." I told him I wanted to see him for the new year. Poof, he tells his wife he has to work overtime. My eyes locked onto the diamond on her ring finger. It was the exact duplicate of the wedding band lost years ago. A cold, sick dread seized me. Cameron was a mid-level manager, scraping by. When did he become a CEO? I stared at her ring finger. "That ring, did you and your daddy get married?" "This?" Kaya examined the solitaire, turning it slowly. "Oh, I made him take it from his original wife." I froze. I hadn't planned to give the old broad a hard time. Kaya continued, her voice light and careless. "But then she had the audacity to lose the baby and need him at the hospital right on my birthday. I spent my birthday completely alone." I instinctively placed my hand on my stomach, the memory of that cruel winter flooding back. I was 3 months along. The black ice on the sidewalk outside our tiny rigid apartment. Cameron also knew so little back then, and E- was a luxury. I fell hard, just blood on the ground. Cameron had stayed with me for 3 days and 3 nights, but when I woke up, the wedding ring was gone along with the child. "It's okay, Grace," HED whispered, holding me tight. "We'll have another baby. They'll buy you a new ring." I shook my head, tears blurring everything. "Nuddy said the company was doing layoffs. We need to save. Then you can buy me a new one." He looked at me, his eyes red, on the verge of crying. "I'm sorry, I failed you." Haya's voice pulled me back. "So, you just asked him to take his wife's ring and give it to you?" "Yeah, he actually refused at first," said HED, "buy me a more expensive one. But that old woman was so arrogant just because she was his wife. If I didn't punish her, she'd be walking all over me, right?" I clenched my jaw shut. "Honestly, this diamond is cheap compared to what else he buys me. But it's the wedding ring." Haya leaned back and gave me a slug smile. "A woman who lets herself get to that point, he deserves nothing better." I squeezed the fabric of my dress until my knuckles were white. I forced a small, sickly smile. "Your daddy is so generous. His wife must be getting quite the payoff to keep her quiet, right?" Kaya laughed, leaning in conspiratorially. "Tell you a secret. The old woman still doesn't even know he's a C. Why?" Haya admired her diamond-studded manicure. "Because what's the point? She spent all her best years struggling with him. If you were a man, once you got rich, would you spend money on a wife who's past her prime? Can money bring back her youth?" The reflection in the window glass showed my own slightly drawn, exhausted face. Kaya nudged me. "Sister, you're older than me, but you still have potential. We have a connection. So let me give you some advice. Women need to invest in fillers and skincare. Your skin looks a little dry. I bet your husband isn't interested in you much anymore, is he?" I simply stared at her. Her skin was flawless taut. I used to look like that. I barely recognized myself. "Skincare is expensive." "So what?" Kinda shrugged. "My daddy gives me a $50,000 monthly allowance, and he covers all my beauty treatments." I watched the way her perfectly winged eyeliner caught the light, a tiny shard of glitter fixed at the corner. "How long have you been his?" "Chofi, since June 12th, 2023. Why?" My trembling intensified. "June 12th, 2023. The day my mother died."